Here's a stat that should wake up every business leader watching this video. 92% of companies plan to increase their AI investments over the next 3 years. But here's the shocking part. Only 1% consider themselves mature in AI deployment. That's right. Almost everyone is investing, but almost no one is getting it right. McKinsey just released a groundbreaking report called Superagency in the Workplace. I'm going to drop it in the description below. Very important read. What they found might surprise you. The biggest barrier to AI success isn't the technology. It's not even your employees. They're actually more ready than you think. The biggest barrier is leadership. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how you can empower your people to unlock AI's full potential and transform your organization from that 99% struggling to the 1% succeeding. I'm Sam Weinstein. I run White City AI, where we help small and mid-sized businesses implement AI the right way, not just building tools, but making sure they actually get adopted and deliver results. And what McKinsey found in this report aligns perfectly with what I see every day working with businesses. Let's dive in. Let me put this in perspective. AI has the potential to be as transformative as the steam engine was to the Industrial Revolution. You know this, everyone's talking about this. McKinsey's research sizes the long-term AI opportunity at $4.4 trillion in added productivity growth potential. That's not a typo, trillion with a T. Here's the thing though, and this is critical, that potential does not unlock itself. It requires what McKinsey calls superagency. What does that mean? Superagency is this beautiful concept where humans and AI have to work together, each amplifying the other's capabilities. Think of it like this. AI handles the repetitive, data-heavy tasks, while humans bring creativity, judgment, emotional intelligence. The report found something fascinating. When you look at the tasks that make up most jobs, around 70% of them could be automated, but, and this is the key insight, the remaining 30%, that's where humans are irreplaceable. That's creativity. That's complex problem solving. That's building relationships. The companies that win won't be the ones that replace humans from AI completely. They'll be the ones that free humans from routine work so they can focus on what only humans can do. And here's what's exciting for those of you running small and mid-sized businesses is not just for the big players anymore. The tools are accessible. The opportunity is real, but you need to approach it the right way. Now, let's talk about what McKinsey discovered about readiness, because this is where it gets really interesting. They surveyed over 2,000 people across multiple countries and industries, and they found a significant gap between how ready employees think they are versus how ready their leaders think they are. Here's the breakdown. Employees rated their own AI readiness at around 3.8 out of 5. It's pretty confident, right? They feel like they're ready to embrace AI. But when you ask those same employees to rate their organization's readiness, it drops down to 3.2. Here's the kicker. When you ask leaders to rate their employees' readiness, they consistently underestimate it. Let me say that again. I think it's important. Leaders are underestimating how ready their people are for AI. This creates a dangerous dynamic. Leaders hold back on AI initiatives because they think their teams can't handle it. Meanwhile, their employees are sitting there thinking, give me the tools, I'm ready. Their report identifies three distinct groups of employees based on their AI readiness. The first group, called the pace setters, okay, about 20% of the workforce. These are your AI champions. They're already experimenting. They're already seeing productivity gains. They're watching these YouTube videos. They're pushing for more. Second, the performers. That's around 60%. They're open to it. They see the potential, but they need guidance. They need training. They need clear direction. And third, the skeptics. That's about 20%. They're hesitant, maybe anxious about job security. They're uncertain about the technology. But here's what most companies get wrong. They focus all their attention on either the pace setters, letting them run wild, or the skeptics, trying to convince them. The real opportunity is in that massive middle group, the performers. If you can move your performers forward toward pace setter behavior, you've just transformed 60% of your business into AI champions. That is where the leverage is. So how do you actually do this? How do you empower your people to unlock AI's full potential? That's the goal of this meeting today. And I'm going to start by outlining McKinsey's research, which points to 5 critical pillars. I'm going to break down each one with practical steps that you can implement starting tomorrow. 1, leadership commitment. 2, clear communication. 3, targeted training. 4, workflow redesign. 5, continuous feedback. Let's go through each one at a time. Okay, so pillar one I said was leadership commitment. This is where everything starts and where most companies fail. The report found that organizations where senior leaders actively demonstrate AI use are 3 times more likely to see successful adoption across the company. 3 times, just from leaders showing up and using the tools themselves. But here's what leadership commitment actually means in practice. It's not just saying AI is important in an all hands meeting. It's not just approving a budget. It's about visible, consistent engagement. So here's practical step number one for you. Even just 2 minutes, record a short video showing how you personally use AI in your daily work. Share it company wide. This does 2 things. Number one, it normalizes AI use, and it signals that this is not just another initiative that will fade away. Practical step number two, join your AI committee. Yes, you should have an AI committee. I talked about this in my McKinsey's best practice videos, which I'll link below. But don't just form it and delegate it. Sit in those meetings, ask questions, show that this matters to you. Practical step number three, set the tone on job security. This is huge. The number one fear employees have about AI is losing their jobs. McKinsey found that anxiety about job displacement is one of the biggest barriers to adoption. As a leader, you need to address this head on. Create a clear statement, put in writing about how AI will be used to empower employees, not replace them. Talk about how you are investing in reskilling. Show them the future where they're more valuable and not less valuable. I see this firsthand with my clients. The companies that get the best adoption are the ones where leadership is visibly, consistently, authentically committed, not just in words, but in actions. Pillar number two is clear communication. McKinsey found that regular internal communication about AI value dramatically increases adoption rates. But most companies are doing this wrong. They're either not communicating at all, leaving employees to figure stuff out on their own, or they're communicating in ways that create a lot more confusion and a lot more headache. Here's what effective AI communication looks like. First, explain the why. Don't just announce new tools. Hey, now we bought this product. Now we bought that product. Explain why you're implementing them. What problem are you solving? What opportunity are you capturing? Connect it to the company's mission and the company's values. Second, share success stories. This is powerful. When someone in your organization uses AI to solve a problem, save time, or create something new, celebrate it. Share it widely. Make it concrete and relatable. So, practical step, create a recurring segment in your all hands meeting, even just 10 minutes, dedicated to AI wins. Have an employee share their experience. This does 3 things: it educates, it inspires, and it creates social proof. Third, be honest about challenges. Don't pretend that AI is perfect. Acknowledge the learning curve. Talk about what's working and what isn't working. This builds trust and makes people more willing to experiment. Fourth, create feedback channels. Set up a simple way for employees to share their AI experiences: what's working, what's frustrating, what they need. A Slack channel, a Google form, a monthly survey, whatever fits your company culture. The key insight from McKinsey is this: communication is not a one time thing, it's an ongoing, it's a dialogue, it's not a monologue. The companies that succeeded are the ones that created continuous conversation around AI. Pillar number three, targeted trainings. And this is where most companies waste enormous amounts of money. They buy generic AI trainings, they make everyone sit through the same content, and they wonder why nothing changes. McKinsey's research shows that role based, targeted training is dramatically more effective than one size fits all approaches. Think about it. A salesperson needs to know how to use AI for prospecting and customer research. A marketer needs to know how to use AI for content creation and analytics. A finance person needs to know how to use AI for forecasting and reporting. Generic introduction to AI training doesn't help any of them do their actual jobs better. Practical step number one, identify your top 3 to 5 roles. Not every role. Start focused. Pick the roles where AI can have the biggest impact. Practical step two, for each role, create a simple 1 page guide with 3 to 5 specific prompts or tools relevant to that role. Make it immediately actionable. For example, for a customer service role, you might include how to use AI to summarize customer history before a call, how to draft a response for common issues, response templates, let's say, how to analyze sentiment and customer feedback. For a sales role, how to research prospects using AI, how to personalize outreach at scale, how to prepare for meetings with AI generated briefings. Practical step three, create peer learning opportunities. McKinsey found that employees learning AI skills most effectively from colleagues, not from formal training programs. So pair your pace setters. I guess you have to identify them first, but pair your pace setters with your performers. Create mentorship relationships around AI skills. Practical step four, make training continuous, not one time. AI is revolving, it's evolving rapidly. What works today might be obsolete in 6 months. Build in regular refreshers and updates. The goal isn't to make everyone an AI expert, it's to give everyone enough knowledge to be dangerous in a good way, enough to experiment, enough to see possibilities, and enough to ask great questions. Pillar four, workflow redesign. This is where the rubber meets the road, and it's where I see the biggest gap between companies that succeed with AI and companies that struggle. McKinsey found that high performing organizations are 2.8 times more likely to fundamentally redesign workflows when implementing AI. So let me explain what that means. Most companies try to bolt AI onto existing processes. They take their current workflow and just add an AI tool somewhere in the middle. That's like putting a jet engine on a horse drawn carriage. It doesn't work. The companies that succeed are able to take a step back and ask, if we were designing this process from scratch, knowing what AI can do, what would it look like? Let me give you a practical example. Okay. Let's say you have a customer onboarding process. Currently takes 5 days and involves multiple handoffs between teams. The wrong approach, add an AI chatbot to answer customer questions during those 5 days. The right approach, redesign the entire process. Use AI to pre-populate forms with available data. Use AI to automatically verify the documents. Use AI to personalize the onboarding experience based on a customer profile. Suddenly, the 5 days becomes 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? So, practical step one, pick one process, just one. Choose something that's repetitive, time consuming, and important to your business. Practical step two, map the current state, every step, every handoff, every decision point. Practical step three, for each step, ask yourself, could AI do this? Could AI assist with this? Or is this uniquely human? Practical step four, redesign with AI as a core component, not an add on. Practical step five, pilot with a small group, gather feedback, iterate, and scale. This is exactly the approach that I use with my clients at White City AI. We don't just build tools, we help redesign workflows so the tools actually deliver value. Pillar five is continuous feedback. This is the pillar that separates good AI implementations from great ones. McKinsey emphasizes that AI deployment isn't a one time event, it's an ongoing process of learning and improvement. And that requires systematic feedback mechanisms. Here's what this looks like in practice. First, track well defined KPIs. You need to know if your AI initiatives are actually working. That means measuring both quantity, how much is the AI doing, and quality. Is it doing it well, or is it just kind of fulfilling tasks? For customer support, you might want to track the number of inquiries handled, the resolution rate, the customer satisfaction scores. That's your quality. Time saved per agent. Second, create feedback loops for employees. The people using AI every day have invaluable insights. They know what's working. They know it's frustrating. They know it's missing. Create simple, low friction ways for them to share their feedback. Here's a practical step. Set up a monthly AI retrospective, even just 30 minutes, where teams discuss what's working and what isn't working. What did we learn? What should we try next? Third, iterate rapidly. Don't wait for perfection. Launch, learn, improve. The companies that succeed with AI are the ones that treat it like a product, constantly evolving based on user feedback. Fourth, celebrate and share learnings. When something works, broadcast it. When something fails, share that too, along with what you learned. This creates a culture of experimentation where people aren't afraid to try new things. McKinsey found that organizations with strong feedback mechanisms see significantly higher AI adoption rates and better outcomes. It requires intentionality. Before I wrap up, I want to talk about something that often gets lost in these conversations about AI, the human element. This is so, so important. McKinsey's report emphasized something I believe deeply. The goal of AI is not to replace humans. It's to create what they call the superagency, humans and AI working together, each making the other better. Here's what that means practically. AI handles the routine, data processing, the scheduling, the first draft creation, research compilation, pattern recognition. Humans handle the complex strategy, creativity, relationship building, ethical judgment, and emotional intelligence. When you get this balance right, something magical happens. Your people become more valuable and not less. They're freed from the tedious work that drains their energy and can focus on the work that energizes them. I've seen this transformation happen with my clients. A two-person support team that was drowning in tickets suddenly has time to build real relationships with customers. A marketing manager who spent hours on data analysis now spends that time on creative strategy. That's the promise of AI done right. Not fewer humans, more empowered humans. But here's the thing. This doesn't just happen automatically. It requires intentional leadership. It requires the five pillars we just discussed. It requires treating AI implementation as a human change management challenge, not just a technology deployment. So let's bring this all together. Okay. You've got the framework, you understand the five pillars, and now what? Here's your action plan for the next 30 days. Week one, assess your current state. Where are you on AI maturity? Survey your employees. How ready do they feel? You might be surprised. Week two, demonstrate leadership commitment. Record that video I mentioned. Share how you're personally using AI. Address job security concerns head on. Week three, launch targeted training. Pick your top three roles. Create those one-page guides. Pair pace setters with performers. Week four, identify one workflow to redesign, map it, reimagine it, and pilot it. Ongoing, this is not just week three, establish feedback mechanisms, track KPIs, create channels for employee input, iterate continuously. Remember, 92% of companies are increasing AI investment and only 1% consider themselves mature. The opportunity to differentiate is massive, and it won't last forever. The companies that figure this out in the next 12 to 24 months will have significant competitive advantage. The ones that don't will be playing catch up for years. So if you found this valuable, here's what I would love for you to do and so appreciate. First of all, subscribe to this channel. I put out videos every week on practical AI implementation, not hype, no fluff, just actionable guidance for business leaders and team leaders. And second, drop a comment below. Would love to hear which of these five pillars is your biggest challenge. I read every comment. I do my best to help. I do my best to respond. Third, if you're a business owner who wants to help implementing AI the right way, not just building tools, but actually getting them adopted and delivering results, I offer a free 30-minute AI call, and I also do 60-minute audits. Just real conversations about what's possible for your business. The link is in the description. The future of work isn't AI replacing humans. It's AI empowering humans to do their best work. And that feature is available to you right now if you're willing to lead the way. Thanks for watching. I'm Sam Weinstein. Go empower your people, and I will see you in the next video.